So let's close that screen that just popped up. And you can select any of the grants and view them accordingly. Let's go ahead and close this screen. Right here, there's a close button at the top right. And get back to our original screen with the navigation pane open. Now, as I mentioned before, anywhere you input information, where it allows you to input information, if you do so, it'll update the grant, and that will be the new information that pops up the next time you open the program. On this main grant list, you're able to input information. So I noticed that a lot of your Excel spreadsheets that you gave to me were in a very similar format, plus or minus a few fields of data. In the future, let's say you get a grant and you want to input some information. Let's update the AIDS surveillance grant for demonstration's sake. So I'm gonna click on Fund, the column that says Fund, for my AIDS surveillance grant. If I want to update any information, I just type it in. I can hit Tab to go to the next field, type in the grant or project number, and so on and so on. If I want to change the title, Lulu's surveillance grant, it's that easy. No need to click any save buttons. Let's say Lulu's not on this grant anymore, and we're assigning it to Thomas Kim. We'll click the drop-down menu under Accountant. We'll assign it to Thomas, and he will be the owner of this grant. That employee list we just saw, if we were to look at Thomas Kim's grants now, this grant would be under there. And if we keep scrolling right, we see all the other relevant information. Start dates. Let's say I want to update the start date. I'll click the little calendar and select the relevant date, and the award amounts, and so forth. As you can tell, like I said before, it's just like Microsoft Excel. In fact, it's basically an Excel within the database. Now let me show you how to add a new grant. It's very easy. On this grant list, you'll see a button that says New Grant. Can you please click that button? And up pops a screen similar to the ones we saw before where our grant details are listed. By default, the cursor is set to the name area. So let's all input a grant just to make sure we're able to do this with no questions or concerns. Call it whatever you want. So I'll call this Rakesh's $1 Million Fund. I'm going to give the Baltimore City Health Department $1 million to buy everyone new laptops. And the accountant responsible for this is going to be Selva Kumar Paul. I'll type in whatever fund and so forth numbers I wish. I'll put in some notes.
Now, Rakesh, that left side, when new grants are entered in, is it really only the left side, the fund, grant, project, program, that needs to be entered and not the new BA number?
Well, that all depends on how you want to proceed. From what I know, nowadays you guys are dealing with the new number, correct?
Right.
So, but for fiscal year 09, there's still some grants that, or the audits are going by this number, correct? Or am I mistaken? Whatever the case may be, if we determine that we no longer need these, we can always eliminate them. with the stroke of a mouse, basically. So whatever information, we'll get some input from the accountants at the end, and whatever information is determined that is needed, we can keep. And if we need to simplify it and eliminate some of these fields, then it's very easy to do, and we can certainly do that.
Well, does that make sense? Just keeping that left side?
We need that left side.
Right.
Kesh and I don't know if you remember, but we talked about that. We need that left side.
Right.
For audits, correct?
For everything.
Okay. So then we can keep that.
New City Dynamics budget account number system.
Okay.
Segmented that way.
But not the new BA number.
No, we don't really need that.
Right, right, exactly. Okay.
So for my $1 million fund, it's going to be a state grant because I'm now the governor, and I have given the money to you guys. Agency, State House. Status, it's an open, it's pending. I haven't signed off on it yet because I'm not sure that I want to give it to you guys yet. I'm still thinking about it. And the contact person will be Olivia Farrow. If I do approve it, it's going to start September 1st, and it'll be valid for a few months, let's say until January 1st, 2010. And again, the amount will be $1 million. Now, if we click on tasks, if I want to add a task, up here at the top, you'll see that it says Add Task. I'm looking right here. I'm going to circle around it with my mouse for a second. And I see it says Add Task. Now, I want to click that button, and a Task Details screen pops up. So I'm going to title my task, Call Rakesh, and urge him to sign off on the grant. I'm going to put the due date as tomorrow. I haven't started the task yet. And under description, I can write anything I want. Rakesh is being stingy with grant money, needs to be convinced to sign papers and release funds to Baltimore City Health Department. And again, if I want to attach a document, I can do so on the Attachments button. And then to save that task, I'll just click Close. Now my task is already saved and input under Grant Tasks. Now let's say that tomorrow comes around and I've made the phone call and I've updated the task. I've completed the task. I'll click Status on the right and I'll click Completed. The task has now been completed. And later, when I show you guys how to generate reports of open tasks, once you've signified a task as being completed, it will automatically remove itself from the open tasks report. Grantor contacts, I can input whoever I want. And I can give myself a little notes like John Doe, secretary to Mr. Rakesh. Be nice to secretaries always. And